Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's Gretchen's last name. For some reason, I wanted to say illustrated by Nancy Drew. I don't know what that's about. I'm having a Nancy Drew moment? I know there's a show out with that on. I don't know what the Nancy Drew... Anyway. Aries. What do we got for Aries? Okay. That's all we want with those. The thing about having a beard is like when the whiskers keep poking you in the nostril, it's really obnoxious. Although I like having a beard, so whatever. Or a goatee or whatever you want to call it. Well, that's very interesting. Aries, what you got going on here? Let's see. That's a very peculiar ending, especially for Aries. We'll see how that's going. Because Aries, to me, doesn't usually put up with bull. But maybe that's why. We'll see. Because as we're starting off, the situation itself has a lot of communication going on. Trying to demystify a situation. Trying to demystify it. You got mystify right here, you got insecurity, and you got the King of Swords right in the center. So this might be somebody you have to deal with in this situation who's trying to pull out all the hidden aspects, trying to unearth all the hidden animosities. In this situation, you might be kind of exposed, is what I'm getting, because you got facade with faith here. So somebody might be calling you out and saying, I know you have a problem with me. I can see somebody saying that. I just feel that energy somewhere, like somebody saying, looking at you and going, I know you have a problem with me. And then you're just kind of looking at them thinking, oh, I do, but I'm not going to let you use that against me. Because usually Aries, they don't put up with bull. They just don't. It's not their thing. If you really call them out on something and say, what do you really think? They'll tell you. Usually that's my experience with an Aries, though. If you get in an Aries face and you're like, what do you really think? They'll tell you. And it may not be pretty. They'll get right to the point. That's the energy I'm used to experiencing anyway. Now, when I'm seeing faith with this facade, you literally might be a lot nicer to this person than you actually want to be. But it might be because you're like, oh, I'm not going to let you manipulate me like this. I'm not going to let you manipulate the situation. You know the game they're playing. And you're like, yeah, the truth is I don't really care for this person. But no, I'm not going to let you use that against me because I'm not going to play that fool today. And I do feel like you're coming forward with some information, but you're very careful how you say it. And you instead of saying I don't trust you, you might say something more along the lines of like, sometimes I wonder what these decisions were, what caused these decisions to come forward. Sometimes I'm just wondering about the foundation behind these choices. So you might find a very creative way to like say that you're not really trusting of this person or something like that, but to where it can be open to interpretation where you're not accusing somebody of anything, but you're truly addressing a situation as best you can without somebody using it against you. And I feel like that's why you would do that. Kind of like, nope, I'm not going to let you use this against me. No, I'm not going to allow that. It's not something Aries is usually known for because it feels a little diplomatic. But Aries are smart too, and you know, if somebody's going to try to get one over on you using your own honesty against you, you're not going to play that game either. You'll get the truth out in there, but you're going to be like, I'll be smart about it. Excuse me. They got service and wisdom in the environment. They know not to push you too far. Because they feel like you're smart enough also. Smart enough? What's that about? I think you got the intelligence behind you to say, all right, I'll start giving you, like you're directing them to call themselves out. You're putting out the information just enough so like if they can prove they've done something to make you feel that way, that's one thing. But you're not going to, like you'll start bringing up history and references to say, oh, I was wondering about what created that decision. Or sometimes I look at this and I'm wondering, how did you get to that point? And sometimes I feel this is going on. I'm wondering what created that decision as well. You're being very smart about it, very smart. Whether you want to be that diplomatic or not, it's for the best. I know that. But I'm also getting this energy has wisdom with service, kind of like they see what you're doing and they're backing off because you're going to corner them and they know it. You're not going to let them use this against you. You're not going to do it. Now, I do see that like you get caught in this weird quagmire because I feel like you're being nicer than you want to be. You're being nicer than you think this person deserves, but there's somebody else here involved that you don't want them to look at you like you're the problem. Just because you're willing to call out the problem shouldn't mean that you get viewed as the problem. So you're caught in this weird quagmire with the Eight of Swords, kind of like you feel like you have to be very careful about what you say. You still have to be honest, but you have to give it a degree of explanation where the other person can explain themselves. So I don't feel like it's very comfortable, but you're kind of like, I gotta do it this way for now. So we'll see how it goes. In the situation itself, discovery is here. And remember when we saw the wisdom in the environment over here with the service? I feel like the other person is discovering that you're trying to set it up so they expose themselves. And they're running away from it. They're like, oh, I got to get out of here. They're trying to get away, far away from you as they can. So that you can't, in their opinion, set them up. Because you're not really setting them up. You're just putting it in place so they can do what they do. So people can see exactly what they do. They know they caught on to the game, though. They're kind of like, oh, like it's not really a game. You're just kind of leaving it out there for them to prove who they really are. You're not really setting them up to make them look a certain way. You're just putting it out there, giving them the opportunity to show who they are. You know what I mean? It's not like a setup, like you want them to be viewed a certain way. It's just exposing them. I don't know. I don't want it to seem like a game, because I don't think that's right. It's just, you want it to be exposed for the truth of it. You're not creating anything. You're not setting this up here with that there, so that way when they walk through it, it falls in on them. No, you're just leaving it out there. Here's the normal situation. Now watch when they walk in, and they'll prove who they are. That's what you're doing. Here's the normal situation. Watch how they handle it. They're ditching the situation because they've discovered that that's what you're doing. To them, it's a game. To you, it's not. That's what I'm feeling, too. It's kind of like you're just giving them an opportunity to prove who they are. All right, so... But the thing is, I think this backfires on them. When they kind of ditch out, that actually does... It still proves your point. It still proves your point. People are very upset about this, by the way. They've got the Ten of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Six of Cups in the center. This is all what's happening. People are very upset. There's a lot of talk about what's going on. There's a lot of people calling out history. This is what happens with this person. This is how this goes. Other people seem to be kind of ganging up on this person. I'm not a big fan of gang up energy, but I feel like other people are like, yep, see? They left us here holding the bag. They ditched out, but literally they just proved who they are. They still did it. They still proved who they are. You didn't set them up. You did not. You just pretty much put the situation out there and said, let them have at it and let's see what they do. That's all you did. Just you put it right out there. Let them have at it. You'll see what they're like. Go ahead. You didn't set it up in any type of trap situation. It wasn't like that. But what they did was they ran away because they knew they were going to get exposed, in effect still exposing themselves. People are ticked. I'm getting I'm getting that Ten of Swords. It's not good, and people are very vocal about it. I'm getting that with the Ace of Swords. And people are like, this is how I experience this person. This is what this person has done to me. They're not very happy at all. There's a lot of confusion going around, and I feel like this person especially is very confused because they don't understand how they got trapped. They don't understand. They're kind of looking at this in a weird sense. They're looking at this like you still trapped them and they couldn't escape your trap. That is not what happened. That is not what you did. You sit, again, like I've said it 50 times, you just put it out there. Do what you're going to do. Same situation as normal. They expose themselves because that's who they really are. That's who they really are. So it's like they're confused. Like, how did you do it? How did you catch me? You just let them be them. That's all. That's who they are. That's how you caught them. You just let them be who they are. That's it. Destiny is served here. Destiny got served. You didn't do anything underhanded. Nothing. I don't feel anything underhanded here. Anything. In fact, I feel like part of you might be looking at this like, part of you anyway, might be like, well, I might have been tempted to, but I didn't have a chance to. I just started the situation. They just did themselves in. I didn't even have to do anything. Some of you, I understand some of you might be kind of like, well, I would if I could. Some of you, not all of you. It's a general reading. But even those who would have are like, I didn't have a chance to. They drowned themselves before you had a chance to. Didn't matter. Destiny comes into play, then you have the High Priestess, kind of like, well, this is how it shakes out. That's the truth of the situation. This other person is very upset. They seem to be blaming you for this. They do seem to be blaming you for this. You didn't do anything, though. I don't feel like your hands are dirty in any sense. You didn't do anything. I don't feel any type of responsibility for what this person did. They did it all to themselves. They did it all to themselves. And they're all upset about it with the Three of Swords, but it's all on them. It's all on them. They did it. It's all on them. They just proved who they were, quite frankly. Now, the energy at the end here, this is the weird part, because I found this very intriguing. They're sort of kind of walking away from the situation, right? And I feel like you're getting back into the situation and doing what you normally do. Things seem to be a lot easier when it comes to this person for you. Either they're completely leaving the situation, or it's somebody who just kind of like, when you're involved, they just back down and they leave you alone. One of the two. Around this situation, there's a very interesting energy. There's gossip, there's impatience, but there's also the Sun card. People are talking and wondering. There's some gossip, which gossip in this situation makes me feel like people are kind of like, almost like they're making you look like the frickin' Terminator or something. Like, oh, the Aries got that one. Oh, watch out for the Aries. You piss the Aries off and they'll get you. And it's kind of like, it's stupid. I feel like it's dumb because you didn't set up anybody. It's almost like you got the better of somebody, but you really didn't. They did it to themselves. It's still killing me. I get the impatience in here. It's kind of like, it does seem a little bit annoying to you. Kind of like people are respecting you and people are paying attention and not giving you a hard time. So that's kind of nice. But on the other hand, these people think you're like this strong, not strong, but they think you're this energy that like if somebody gets in your way, you're going to come hunt them down and get rid of them. You'll take care of that. And that's not your energy. Like you will address something. You won't stand for it if it's wrong, and you will stand up and say something, but you're not this person, like this person, evil, lurching person just waiting, like, oh, I don't like what you're doing, wah-bam, I'll get rid of you. Wait, no, I don't like you either, wah-bam, you're gone too. It's not like you're doing that. And it's kind of like you're also a little annoyed, kind of like, why can't people just see that that person was that person? That person did themselves in for who they were. But on the other hand, but still, when all is said and done, it's a good situation because people are more respectful towards you. It's like they're more respectful towards you for almost sort of the wrong reasons. But I feel like as time keeps going forward, it's a moot point. And I almost feel like you're looking at it like, yeah, that's how these people work. It's fine. Like at least things are working better for me. So you're making the best of it. You are getting used to it, and you are making the best of the situation. I just feel like it's a little annoying to you, kind of like. You're like, I'm not the Terminator. That person did themselves in. It's just strange. I just feel like it's strange. But it ends really well. I feel like it does end really well, so it's not really a problem in that respect. But what are you going to do? All right. I think we're good there. So I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.